On the last day of the college entrance examination at noon, Ethan woke me up from my nap on the desk and whispered in my ear, "You are so ugly." Not far away, his friends were looking at me, laughing and joking. Ethan explained that he lost a game of truth or dare, and the punishment was to find a girl and tell her she was ugly to her face. Among the girls present, I only know you well, so I chose you. I didn't mean it that way. How could you be ugly? You are the woman who will be my wife in the future. I once asked him, in the college entrance examination, 1 point can surpass thousands of people. Will we part ways in life because of one wrong choice question? He smiled and said no matter what, we will be together. But now, he lost the game and chose to embarrass me, without considering whether it would affect my exam in the afternoon. I think, even if it's not because of the college entrance examination choice question, just because of his choice, we are no longer on the same path. I quietly changed my choice of school and headed towards a bright future without him. It rained continuously for several days during the college entrance examination, and it was not until noon on the last day that the cloudy sky had some sunshine. The tense examination only had the last subject, politics, left. The lunch break was tight. Ethan called me to go to the library together after lunch, to rest a little, and then it would be time to return to the examination room. But not long after arriving at the library, I regretted it. Ethan and I were not in the same class. He was chatting with his classmates and even checking the answers to the morning exam. Although I didn't want to join, I was forced to hear that I might have done a few questions wrong. But what was already wrong could not be changed. I didn't want to continue listening, so as not to affect my mood. I just wanted to seize the remaining time, rest and review well, and do well in the last subject. Moreover, looking around, many classmates had already started resting on their desks. I interrupted Ethan, who was chatting happily, and softly reminded him, "If you want to chat, can you go outside? There is still an exam in the afternoon, and many classmates nearby are taking a nap." Ethan was stunned for a moment. But soon, he gave me a hearty smile. "Hannah is right to teach me, I will take them out now." He took his friends to the corridor. As they passed by me, a boy clasped his fists at me. "Sorry, Hannah, rest well and perform exceptionally in the afternoon." Ethan patted the boy's head. Go, what are you shouting about?" Then he turned to smile at me. "Hannah, don't mind them, do what you need to do." I lay on the desk, thinking that I could finally have some peace and sleep well. But the study area and the corridor were only separated by a glass door, and the door was not closed properly. Their conversation kept coming through, annoying like the buzzing of mosquitoes. From time to time, there were bursts of laughter. I closed my eyes, tired and sleepy, but it was hard to fall asleep because of their voices. Thinking that time was passing and I would soon have to enter the examination room, I couldn't help but feel anxious and even more unable to sleep. Just then, someone patted my shoulder. I opened my sleepy eyes, sat up, and found it was Ethan. He bent down, his face very close to mine, even his hair touching me. My heart suddenly started racing, and my face felt hot. The boy I had a crush on for many years was so close, it would be a lie to say I wasn't moved. His warm breath freely sprinkled on my neck. I shrank back a little, but Ethan pressed on, getting even closer to me. It seemed he didn't mind such an ambiguous distance. "You." I wanted to ask Ethan what he was doing, but as soon as I said one word, I was interrupted by his words, "You are so ugly." His pronunciation was clear, his tone firm. His expression was a coldness I had never seen before. Laughter erupted again in the corridor. The boy who had clasped his fists at me earlier and called me sister-in-law spoke loudly. "Weren't you very imposing when you told us to go out just now? Now that Ethan says you're ugly, you don't even dare to make a sound." Immediately, someone chimed in my opinion, every boy should have a childhood sweetheart, a little training and they'll behave immediately." Look at Hannah's stunned look, she seemed so shocked. She didn't think Ethan was going to confess to her just now, did she? Ethan's friends laughed together, some clutching their stomachs, some pointing at me. There was even one more person, Jasmine. She pursed her lips, her eyes smiling as she looked at me, her face like a peach blossom. If I didn't know it was mockery, I might have been happy to have such a beautiful girl smile at me. Jasmine was a repeat student, the new school beauty of our school, and the only girl among the group in the corridor. I didn't know when she arrived or how well she knew Ethan, even though she and Ethan were not in the same class. Hannah, we were playing a game because we couldn't focus on reviewing. I lost and chose dare, which was to find a girl and tell her she was ugly to her face. This was my punishment. You don't know how hard it was for me to say that to you. After Ethan briefly explained, without waiting for me to say anything, he walked straight to his friends, turning me into a clown for their amusement and then leaving me like that. My heart grew colder bit by bit. Was this still the Ethan I liked? In the past, he would protect me even if it meant getting his face bruised, without backing down. Even a week ago, he confidently said that no matter what, we would be together. In the corridor, Ethan's friends continued their banter. Ethan is impressive, using Hannah to please the school beauty. With Jasmine here, of course, he had to say Hannah was ugly. Jasmine, don't you think so? Jasmine didn't say anything, just smiled more shyly, her face flushing. She playfully hit the joking boy's arm but glanced at Ethan. Ethan smiled back at her knowingly. So that's how it was. Ethan lost the game and came to tell me I was ugly, with Jasmine present the whole time. That is to say, he, being so smart, didn't choose a smarter way to avoid this dare and spare all the girls present from embarrassment. Instead, he specifically chose me and said I was ugly in front of Jasmine. If I'm not mistaken, they had probably started being ambiguous long ago, without my knowledge. Clearly, on this day last year, Ethan insisted that I promise to be with him after the college entrance examination. He didn't know how happy I was when my years of palpitations were reciprocated by him at that moment. That night, I read shoujo manga while imagining us together, so excited that I rolled around on the bed, giggling foolishly until dawn. But now, all my expectations and girlish thoughts have become a joke. My misplaced sincerity has turned me into a clown. In my mind, I kept recalling the scene of Ethan saying I was ugly, his friends laughing at me, and him and Jasmine smiling at each other, my heart aching with each memory. Tears were already welling up. Yet Ethan was still chatting enthusiastically with his friends, not even glancing at me. I suddenly felt that these tears shouldn't fall, it wasn't worth it. I dug my nails hard into my palm, using the pain to force myself to remember not to cry, not to make myself an even bigger joke. Questions done wrong can't be changed no matter how much I dwell on them. People who have changed can't go back to how they were, no matter how sincerely I treat them. What I can do now is to move forward. From now on, I will make the right choices. There was only 1 hour left before the politics exam started. I didn't want to keep dwelling on the pain Ethan caused me, constantly wondering when exactly he started to rot during this senior year. Every precious second from now on, I would use for exam preparation, not wasting a single moment on him. After taking a few deep breaths, I felt much clearer-headed. I quickly packed my things and left. Ethan immediately chased after me, grabbing my wrist tightly. Hannah, they are all my friends. If you take a game so seriously, it's no fun. Be happy, don't make a scene. He said I was ugly and still wanted me to be happy. I really wasn't that magnanimous. A week before the college entrance examination, when Ethan and I were doing questions together, we encountered a choice question with highly misleading wrong options. At that time, I got it wrong, but Ethan got it right. Considering that in the college entrance examination, 1 point can surpass thousands of people, the score difference from one choice question could mean completely different schools and majors. I asked Ethan, will we part ways in life because of one wrong choice question? His smile was warm and bright in the sunlight, worthy of all beautiful descriptions. At that time, he was so certain, no matter what, we will be together. Wherever you go, I will go. No one can separate us, let alone a mere choice question. But now, he lost the game and chose to embarrass me, without considering whether it would affect my exam in the afternoon. I think, even if it's not because of the college entrance examination choice question, Just because of his choice, we are no longer on the same path. I gently shook the hand Ethan was holding. You said it was just a game, I'm not angry. My stomach is a bit uncomfortable, I'm going to the bathroom, and I'll probably go straight to the examination room later, so don't wait for me. I even gave him a slight smile to make him believe I wasn't angry. Admitting I was angry now would only make Ethan cling to me endlessly. I couldn't let him continue to affect my college entrance examination. Ethan finally let go, touched my head, and said in a gentle tone, I knew it, Hannah is the best. You go first, good luck in the afternoon. I nodded at him, smiling sweetly. I turned and went to another floor, found a quiet corner, and focused on reviewing the key points. Ethan, rest assured, I will definitely do my best. I will not hesitate, spare no effort, race against time, and head towards a bright future without you. The last subject of the college entrance examination went relatively smoothly overall, and I filled in even the uncertain parts. When I walked out of the examination room, I saw that the dark clouds had dispersed. The sunlight was shining brightly in the open sky. My mood instantly became much lighter. After leaving the examination building, I hadn't walked far when I ran into Ethan and his group. They were still chatting, but their eyes unanimously turned to me. I passed by as if I hadn't seen them. Hannah, why didn't you say hello? Are you in a bad mood? Did you not do well in the exam just now? Ethan strode forward and grabbed my shoulder. Let's go, let's have a big meal, choose whatever you want to eat, my treat. In the past, his physical contact made me nervous and my heart race, but now it made me feel sick. I turned back and gave him a faint look, I'm going home, you guys have fun. Ethan frowned, why? Didn't we agree long ago to hang out together tonight after the exam? Are you deliberately doing this because you're angry at me, just because I said you were ugly at noon? I explained that it was just a game, and it was hard for me to say those words too. Why can't you think from my perspective and feel sorry for me? I showed a troubled expression, I have a bit of a headache and want to go home to rest. Behind him, his friends loudly jeered, are you sure you want to go home? Jasmine is going tonight, if you don't keep an eye on him, the title of sister-in-law might change hands. Ethan also leaned closer, lowering his voice beside me, you had a stomachache at noon, and now you have a headache. You'd better not be making excuses to bail. I'll explain one last time, among the girls present, I only know you well, I barely know the other girls, I couldn't just find a stranger and say she's ugly, could I? You are one of us, the person closest to me, that's why I chose you. I didn't mean it that way, how could you be ugly? You are the woman who will be my wife in the future. Think about it again, do you want to join us tonight? Just then, Jasmine came over. She excitedly waved her arms at Ethan, Ethan, I'm here, sorry to keep you waiting. She came at just the right time. Without any hesitation, I shook my head at Ethan, I really have a headache, I'm leaving. He just coldly threw out a sentence, don't regret it. If I get drunk tonight and kiss or hug someone, it's because you didn't watch over me. After that, Ethan didn't contact me at all. He didn't even care about my headache, although I made it up. Probably, he was having a lot of fun and making good progress with Jasmine. Thinking of the boy who used to get nervous and concerned even when I sneezed, I still missed him a little. But now, I might as well consider that the boy I liked has been possessed, as good as dead. The next day, when I returned to school to move my luggage, I met Ethan again. My parents and I were outside the school, loading the luggage into the car trunk. My mom was muttering beside me, what is Ethan busy with? He came to our house earlier and said he would help move, but now he's nowhere to be seen. My dad, however, looked into the distance with a darkened face, isn't that him? Look at what he's busy with. I followed my dad's gaze. Under the camphor tree, Ethan was holding 2 large cardboard boxes. On the boxes, it was written in big letters, Senior Year Class 33, Jasmine. The girl beside him wiped the sweat from his forehead, her smile blooming like a flower. The girl had outstanding looks, making it hard not to recognize her. It was Jasmine herself. Ethan moved his lips, I don't know what he said. Then, Jasmine stood on tiptoe and pecked him on the face. Ethan's eyes lit up, and his hands holding the boxes slipped a little. A few notebooks from the top fell to the ground. The plaid covers of various colors, I recognized at a glance that they were the subject notebooks I had painstakingly organized with key points. During his senior year, Ethan had a period of recurring positive tests, with a high fever that wouldn't subside, and he took a week off. From then on, I started organizing a copy of the key notes for him until the college entrance examination. Now, all my notes were in Jasmine's boxes. Obviously, what I thought was my sincere effort had become a little trick for Ethan to curry favor with Jasmine. Ethan looked at the notebooks on the ground, paused, and bent down to put down the boxes. Jasmine directly stopped him. "Are you silly? Why pick up something useless? Just throw it away, it will lighten the load for brother Ethan." He hesitated for only a moment, hummed in agreement, and allowed Jasmine to throw my hard work into the trash can. My parents naturally recognized those notebooks of mine. Originally, I could go to bed before 12, but to help Ethan organize the notes, I often stayed up half an hour later. I always wrote his copy first and then made a photocopy for myself. All of this, my parents saw. Although out of consideration for our relationship, I hadn't told my parents about what happened at noon yesterday. But now, without saying anything, they probably already understood that the relationship where Ethan and I were always together was a thing of the past. My dad, with a stern face, loaded all the luggage into the car in one go. "Don't look, it's bad luck. Let's go home." Just as we got into the car, I saw Ethan hurriedly running over, knocking on the car window next to me. He looked unusually flustered. "Hello, Uncle and Aunt. Hannah, when did you arrive?" My mom rolled down the window. "We arrived early and have been watching you for a while." Whether it was the hot weather or nervousness, large beads of sweat dripped from Ethan's forehead. He hurriedly ran to the passenger window and explained to my mom, "Aunt, please don't misunderstand, that's a friend of mine. Her parents are out of town and couldn't come, so she asked me to help move at the last minute. I didn't have time to tell you." In the car, the three of us were silent for a moment. Ethan became more anxious and shouted at me, "Hannah, say something too. You know, Jasmine and I are really just pure friends. Don't let Uncle and Aunt misunderstand." "Pure friendship? I think it's more like lip friendship." Before I could speak, my mom preemptively retorted. She pretended to be surprised. "Do friends kiss each other on the face? Is this what Michael taught you? Then I'm not comfortable with our Hannah being friends with you." Ethan was clearly taken aback, his face turning red instantly. "No, my dad didn't teach me that. She insisted on kissing me, and I was holding the boxes and couldn't dodge. Aunt, please don't tell my parents, it was really just a misunderstanding." My mom waved her hand at Ethan. "Kid, you don't need to explain so much. The college entrance examination is over, and who you date is your freedom, our family can't control that. The only thing we care about is that if you're in a relationship, you should have made it clear earlier. If our Hannah knew, she would have kept her distance and definitely wouldn't have sent you notes, and the notes wouldn't have all been thrown away by your girlfriend. What you did is disrespectful to both girls. Your girlfriend is still waiting for you, go quickly." Without giving him a chance to entanglement, my mom closed the car window. My dad stepped on the gas, and Ethan was instantly left behind. In the rearview mirror, I saw him still standing motionless by the roadside, looking at us, as if Jasmine beside him was air. But soon, their figures became as small as grains of sand, disappearing into the street scene. I couldn't help but feel a bit emotional. If it weren't for Jasmine, would Ethan and I be sitting in the car together now, excitedly planning our graduation trip? But there are no ifs. The broader world and more wonderful scenery, even without Ethan, I will still see them. I smiled as if relieved and started browsing travel guides on a certain app. Ironically, the algorithms of social media nowadays are too powerful. They precisely pushed the hot gossip post from the school's confession wall to me, with Ethan and Jasmine as the protagonists. The informant said that on the night the college entrance examination ended, Ethan and the others sang karaoke until late, and while others went home, he and Jasmine didn't. There was also a photo of them coming out of the hotel together the next morning. Jasmine was clinging tightly to Ethan's side, holding his arm, while Ethan had his hands in his pockets, smiling slightly with his head down. In the comment section, someone shipped them. I noticed something was off with these two long ago, and now that the college entrance examination is over, they finally went public. Scattering flowers. Their looks are such a perfect match. I can only say it's a power couple. I'm dizzy from shipping. Someone also mentioned me. Wait, doesn't anyone in the comments section remember that the girl who was always with this boy is another girl? I heard they are the childhood sweethearts, right? Is it possible that if it weren't for this childhood sweetheart, Ethan and the school beauty would have gone public with their relationship long ago, without having to endure so hard for so long? The most popular comment was still that one, "Oh, I saw myself HHH. Thank you all for your blessings, we will be happy." The profile picture was Jasmine's selfie. Clicking into the homepage, it was indeed her. The latest post was from early this morning. The cover was Ethan's sleeping face lying opposite, with the hotel's warm yellow light shining on his bare upper body, creating an ambiguous atmosphere. She captioned it, "Finally, no need to hide anything anymore, the summer that belongs only to you and me has begun." I have to say, she was very good at crafting captions. This post was even more popular than the one on the school's confession wall. Below, there were compliments for her, comments saying it was sexy, and insults directed at me. Scrolling down, almost every one of her past posts was related to Ethan. Only then did I realize that every Saturday afternoon when Ethan said he was going to play basketball, he was actually dating Jasmine. Only then did I know that on the way home together in the evenings, the first half of the route was along Jasmine's way, and she was always within 3 meters in front of us. When Ethan was chatting side by side with me, his eyes were looking at Jasmine ahead. Only then did I know that during the days he was hospitalized for recurring positive tests, when I delivered notes to him and saw the red mark on his neck, it wasn't a mosquito bite, but an exclusive little strawberry planted by Jasmine. I was like a peeper, only then able to glimpse the sweetness they had behind my back over the past year. So everything had signs long ago, but I was too slow, and it took hearing the words, "You are so ugly," to start stopping my one-sided love fantasies. I couldn't bear to look anymore and closed the phone screen as if fleeing in panic. My heart was pounding violently, so painful. Clearly, I was the clown who was kept in the dark, but in Jasmine's detailed records, I became the robber, depriving them of the right to love openly, forcing them to love secretly. Tears dripped onto the phone screen, and only then did I realize I was crying. But at the same time, I wanted to mock myself from last night. Several times when I woke up from dreams, I instinctively opened the chat box with Ethan. Finding that there were still no new messages, I groggily remembered his words, "You are so ugly," and remembered that he was no longer the little boy who used to shout about protecting me. Actually, it wasn't hard to guess who the informant of this gossip post was. After all, the protagonist of the gossip herself personally commented to drive traffic. But still, I have to thank her, Jasmine. If I hadn't seen this post, I wouldn't have known until now that last night, while I was tossing and turning for Ethan, feeling extremely tormented, he was busy entwining with Jasmine, spending the night together. The last bit of expectation for him in my heart was completely extinguished at this moment. Perhaps it was human instinct for self-preservation. After blind infatuation and expectation were shattered, what replaced them was a growing disgust, budding bit by bit. So much so that now, when Ethan really sent a message, my heart had no trace of anticipation or joy, only deep fatigue and weariness. Opening the chat box, there was Ethan's belated apology, "Hannah, I took Aunt's words to heart. No matter who was right or wrong in the past 2 days, I take it all on myself, it's all my fault, I'm sorry. I've ordered flowers, and I'll personally deliver them to your house in an hour. There have indeed been small unpleasantnesses between us these 2 days, but we are meant to spend our lives together, so let's let these small conflicts pass, okay?" So, insulting me in public before the exam, almost affecting my college entrance examination, was just a small unpleasantness in his eyes. Did Ethan really think that no matter how he stabbed me in the back, I would accept him willingly? Seeing that I didn't reply, Ethan sent another message. Ethan has a small request. You didn't tell them about yesterday, did you? Please don't complain to uncle and aunt again. I'm afraid they won't feel at ease marrying you to me in the future. No wonder earlier at the school gate, Ethan cared so much about my parents' reaction. He thought that upsetting me was nothing, a few coaxing words and a flower, and I would forgive him. He even thought I could happily marry him. But my parents are different. Once they have a bad impression, it's hard to reverse. Especially the matter of saying I was ugly before the exam. He knew deep down that he had gone too far. He was very nervous about whether I had told my parents about it. So familiarity breeds contempt. This saying is not false. But it doesn't matter, we won't be familiar with each other anymore. In the future, crossing my bottom line will have consequences and punishments. I replied to him, Ethan, you were ambiguous with the school beauty behind my back and still kept me hanging. You gave away my notes to someone else and then calmly threw them away. You said I was ugly before the politics exam without considering the impact on me. You talk about spending a lifetime with me, do you deserve it? Considering our past relationship and the friendship between our families, apart from what my parents saw at the school gate, I didn't tell them anything else. As for whether they would accept someone who has hurt and deceived their daughter as a son-in-law, you're not stupid, you should have some self-awareness. I am truly grateful for how you took care of me in the past, but now, our path ends here. After sending the message, I blocked him and also blocked his phone number. I never thought that the person I liked so much would exit my life in this way. Outside the car window, the scenery quickly receded and disappeared. I thought, time would soon smooth out the scars Ethan left me. My mom was worried sick. Seeing that I finally put down my phone, she found the opportunity to speak. Hannah, are you okay? Were you still chatting with Ethan? I shook my head and smiled through tears at her. We finished chatting, I just blocked him, and I won't chat with him anymore. While waiting at the red light, my mom turned around and gave me a hug. That's right, during this great vacation, we can't waste time on unhappy things. I also acted spoiled. Let's set off for a trip now, okay? I don't want to see Ethan, out of sight, out of mind. He lives right across from me, I can imagine how annoying he will be next. My parents readily agreed, and so we embarked on a spontaneous trip. In less than half an hour after getting home, we packed our luggage. Another half-hour later, we arrived at the airport. In between, my parents took annual leave and booked the flight tickets. Everything was so smooth, so exhilarating, and so happy. Fortunately, I only lost a trashy love, I still have so much precious love. While waiting at the airport, the smart lock app at home reminded me that someone was lingering at the door. I opened the video and found it was Ethan, holding roses and guarding the door. As the doorbell rang more than 10 times with no response, his expression became increasingly anxious. He started speaking loudly at the door. Hannah, I know what you said was out of anger, I really know I was wrong, I hope you can give me a chance. The things you mentioned, I have my reasons, I can explain everything, let's have a good talk, don't let these misunderstandings hurt our relationship, okay? Didn't we collect many cities we planned to visit? When you've calmed down, add me back, I've already made the travel plans, and when you give the order, I'll buy the tickets and book the hotels. What responded to him was still silence. Ethan twitched his mouth, smiling bitterly. Hannah, I don't know if you're really not home or deliberately not opening the door, please don't keep ignoring me like this, I'm really sad. Actually, enduring not seeing me and not talking to me, you must be feeling bad too, right? Still, when you've calmed down, come find me, I'm always here, waiting for you to come back to me. He sat at my door with the flowers for a full 2 hours before leaving. His back looked somewhat defeated, completely lacking the spirited look of the past. So, the Ethan who was so arrogant and cold when he said I was ugly also had such embarrassing moments. After arriving in New York, just as I checked into the hotel, I received a friend request from Jasmine. Classmate Hannah, I'm Jasmine, I apologize to you, can you please make up with Ethan quickly? I beg you. He's not eating, only drinking, and has acute gastritis, he was just sent to the hospital. I know you saw that post on the school's confession wall, I deliberately sent it to the blogger. Actually, we didn't have a relationship, and the comments were bought by me. His sleeping photo was also taken secretly by me. All of this was done behind Ethan's back. He is innocent. The one he truly likes is only you. If I'm lying, may I be struck by lightning. How touching. The friend request can only be up to 50 characters. To save Ethan, Jasmine sent me 3 messages in a row. I never noticed before that she wanted to be my friend so much. Seeing her sincerity, I accepted her request. I sent her a message. Since you know I saw that post, it means you saw my comment below. Everything I said in the comment is true. I don't like Ethan at all. He doesn't eat, he drinks, he goes to the hospital, he's so. But, what does that have to do with me? But I have no interest in her and Ethan's affairs, and I don't want to know what happens next. So I blocked her. Looking out the floor-to-ceiling window, the skyscrapers and streets crisscrossed, the lights reflecting the city's prosperity and vitality. I thought, facing such a dazzling Manhattan night scene, it's really hard to remember Ethan. The only regret is, how did Jasmine get the confession wall to delete the post? My comment below later became popular and received quite a few likes. I think my response was pretty good. I am the childhood sweetheart mentioned in the comment section. I don't like Ethan at all, and I also hope he and the school beauty are locked in. Everyone can ship them without worry, just don't accidentally hurt me. I returned to the country with a head of passionate big wavy orange hair. I really like my new hairstyle, and my parents said I look like a little son. Many people didn't recognize me, even Ethan, who grew up with me. When we met again, I was sitting on the second floor of the coffee shop, facing the door. Ethan and a friend walked in, glanced at me, and then looked away. After not seeing him for a while, he had visibly lost a lot of weight, and the stubble on his face was unkempt. After getting his drink, he just silently stirred the ice cubes with a straw, not saying a word to his friend. Ethan's friend spoke first. Ethan, I called you out today to chat and figure out what you're thinking. We brothers want to help you. We really can't stand seeing you like this. At first, we all thought you and Hannah would stay good and get married. But then, Jasmine transferred in, and you two started acting weird. You even asked us to set up a game before the politics exam so you could say Hannah was ugly in front of Jasmine to please her. That night after the exam, when we saw you and Jasmine go to the hotel together, we all thought it was done, and we were happy for you that you finally got the school beauty. But now, you turned around and broke up with the school beauty, begging Hannah to make up with you. Is this still the Ethan we know? We're all buddies, tell me the truth, who do you really like? As long as you say it, we'll definitely find a way to help you. Ethan sighed deeply. The one I've always liked in my heart is Hannah, not Jasmine. I didn't expect things to turn out like this. The boy opposite laughed a little. You like her, yet you had us help you set up a game to say she's ugly? What were you thinking? Ethan stopped stirring the ice cubes. There was no other way. If I didn't show loyalty to Jasmine like this, she wouldn't sleep with me. Wouldn't my efforts throughout senior year be in vain? It's just that I didn't expect Jasmine to be so greedy, actually wanting to become official, posting online behind my back and spreading it everywhere, making it seem like we slept together and were a couple, which pushed Hannah to the edge and made her upset with me. If it were only about saying Hannah was ugly, I would have definitely coaxed her back by now. Hearing this, his friend instantly became excited, his face full of eagerness for gossip. Speaking of which, what's the real situation between you and the school beauty? Saying nothing happened is just to appease the little childhood sweetheart, right? He winked and lightly pushed Ethan's shoulder. Tell me quickly. What was it like with the school beauty? Ethan shook his head. I said we didn't sleep together, so we didn't. I'm very pure. His friend gave a look of complete disbelief. You're just making it up. We're all buddies, don't be so stingy. Only then did Ethan put his hand to his mouth and lowered his voice. The earlier steps, you know, we did what we were supposed to do. She has a good figure and was it felt like she was indeed experienced. But when it came to the last step, Jasmine suddenly said that she wasn't a virgin was actually a lie to me. This was her first time, she was afraid of pain, and wanted me to be gentle. She also said that besides her first time, she wanted to give me her first kiss too. She wanted to be with me properly, go to the same university, work in the same city, and go from dating to marriage. I suddenly lost interest, feeling that she wasn't as carefree as I thought. What Jasmine wanted, I only wanted to give to Hannah. His friend nodded repeatedly, seemingly in deep agreement. I heard that Jasmine didn't do well last year because of puppy love, and was forced by her family to repeat the year, but this year she didn't learn her lesson at all and hooked up with you again. This matter is indeed Jasmine crossing the line. When it comes to marriage, a sudden lover can't beat a childhood sweetheart, no matter how flirtatious. Talking about this, a faint smile finally appeared on Ethan's gloomy face. Yes. My wife must be, and can only be, Hannah. Her world is very small, so small that she only has eyes for me, obediently reassuring. Hannah is really innocent. Before, when I was positive and she came to the hospital to see me, she saw the hickey on my neck that Jasmine had just sucked, and she actually thought it was a mosquito bite. I almost laughed out loud, thinking she was so cute and so. At that moment, I felt my desire to protect and possess her reached a new height. His friend also laughed happily. That's right, for marriage, you still need to find an obedient girl. Someone like Jasmine is just for breaking one's virginity, but if you really want to live together, there are so many people coveting her, and she knows her appearance advantage, who knows when she might run off with someone. I think that orange-haired girl upstairs is probably that type too. What do girls like them say? Oh, I smoke, I have tattoos, I dye my hair, but I'm a good girl. Their voices were much lower than before, but I still heard every word clearly. More than disappointment, my heart was filled with shock and anger. I knew Ethan had rotted, but I didn't know he would rot to this extent. But fortunately, I had learned to stop losses in time and withdraw all my liking, trust, and expectations for him. I hope Jasmine can do the same. I removed Jasmine from the blacklist and sent her the video I had just recorded. Then I went downstairs and walked gracefully towards Ethan and his friend. Ethan suddenly stood up, his eyes going from confusion to shock, and then filled with surprise. Hannah. You finally agreed to see me. When did you return to the country? Why didn't you tell me? Unlike Ethan, his friend's face looked a bit ugly. He forced a smile at me and immediately got up and left. You two have a good chat, I won't disturb you. Ethan completely ignored his friend, his gaze fixed on me. He smiled with satisfaction. The new hairstyle is beautiful. It's the first time I've seen you in this style. It suits you very well. Don't say those nonsense words again, okay? You look good no matter what, and I like you no matter what. How could you not be worthy of marrying me? You've been playing abroad for more than a week, and finally calmed down? I only knew from my parents, you can't do this again in the future, you must take me with you when you go out to play. Seeing that Ethan was about to touch my head, I pushed his hand away, my tone sharp. If you touch me again, I'll accuse you of sexual harassment in public. He was stunned, his eyes instantly showing disbelief. Hannah, you've changed, how can you talk to me like this? You weren't like this before. Now you seem so unfamiliar. I said coldly, it was you who publicly said I was ugly at noon on the last day of the college entrance examination. From that moment on, we were destined not to be on the same path. It was your own choice that made us part ways from then on. Ethan became more shocked, his tone anxious. No way. Are we going to break up our childhood friendship because of those 3 words? I've explained to you so many times that it was just a game. I retorted, just a game? Wasn't it a setup you deliberately made to please Jasmine? Betting on the impact on my college entrance examination and my future, sacrificing my dignity, in exchange for a night of passion with Jasmine. Ethan gasped, you heard everything we talked about just now? I slightly curled my lips, I heard it all. Your friend is smarter than you, he ran away as soon as he saw me. Not only did I listen, but I also sent the recording to Jasmine for her to hear. Ethan anxiously wanted to grab my arm, but his hand stopped in midair and retracted, probably remembering my warning about accusing him of sexual harassment. He shook his head painfully, trying hard to justify, Jasmine doesn't matter, but I'm afraid you'll be hurt by those words. Hannah, listen to me, Although I did say that to you on purpose to sleep with her, I've always been sincere to you. It was too absurd. I laughed out loud. You deliberately hurt me to sleep with her, and you say you're sincere to me? Ethan frowned tightly, seeming truly in pain. It was Jasmine who brought it up. At that time, we had just met not long ago, and she secretly asked me if I wanted to taste the forbidden fruit, saying she could let me break my virginity after the college entrance examination. The pressure in senior year was too great, and she was the school beauty. You don't understand how tempting that is for a hot-blooded boy. Besides, Hannah, I couldn't bear to break your virginity. You're meant to be saved for marriage. At first, I just wanted to play along. But the heart is made of flesh after all, and gradually, I actually developed feelings for Jasmine. But when it really came to the last step, I thought of you, Hannah. I only want to give my first kiss to you, my promise to you. I really didn't have a relationship with her. My first time is still there. I'm still clean. Don't despise me, okay? After hearing this, my heart turned completely cold. Ethan, from beginning to end, you only thought about yourself. Did you ever think about me even for a moment? If because of your public humiliation at noon that day, I messed up my college entrance examination, what then? He stared at me blankly. I didn't expect you to mind this matter so much. I thought, with my explanation, you wouldn't take that sentence seriously. Besides, don't you know what you look like yourself? I said you were ugly, and you actually took it to heart. How can my Hannah be so silly? After saying that, he actually smiled with some heartache, his tone softening a lot. Even if you didn't do well in the exam and couldn't get into Shaman University as we agreed, you could go to a slightly worse school. As long as we're in the same city, it's fine. Both our families are well off and can support you. You'll still have a good job in the future, or even if you don't work, I can support you. Have you estimated your score? Tell me, I'll help you fill out the application. Schools with lower scores also have good majors. Hannah, I only now know that you were angry with me because of this. Actually, doing a little worse in the college entrance examination doesn't have that big an impact. Even if the sky falls, I'll be there to hold it up for you. Looking at Ethan's increasingly determined expression, I roughly understood. He really thought I messed up the exam because of him. He didn't know that I estimated my score to be more than 30 points higher than usual, completely able to go to a better school. I smiled and shook my head at Ethan. I don't need you to choose schools or majors for me, nor do I need you to dictate my life. I have my own life plan. If your whimsical humiliation affected me, and you were indifferent and unapologetic, then of course I would choose to discard you. You know, sunk costs don't participate in major decisions. Ethan, do you remember before the college entrance examination, I asked you if we would part ways because of the score difference caused by one wrong choice question? At noon before the politics exam, when you chose to publicly humiliate me, the answer to that question became clear. If our paths are different, we can't plan together. I won't continue to walk with someone who doesn't respect me. I used to like you and trust you unconditionally. That was my wrong choice, but one can't keep making mistakes. Now, I need to correct my choice and leave you. Every word I say is from the heart, never just angry words. I told you, we're done here, and it's true. In my comment, I said I don't like Ethan at all, and that's also true. Panic and despair slowly crept onto Ethan's face, and he almost cried as he pleaded, Hannah, don't stop liking me. I really know I was wrong now. I know how excessive I was and how much I hurt you. Please give me another chance. I will definitely make it up to you properly. Hit me, scold me. As long as you can calm down and forgive me, I'm willing to do anything. Please, I've never thought we would separate. After so many years, you're like breathing, engraved in my life. I can't imagine a life without you in the future. I can't do it. I took a deep breath. Speaking of scolding him, I did have 3 words I wanted to give back to him. You asked me to scold you. You are so dirty. As soon as the words fell, the once proud and unyielding boy now had his hands trembling by his sides. His tears fell in large drops, smashing onto the ground. Reaching this point, I was somewhat sad in my heart. I also thought, if only he were still the boy from childhood who had eyes only for me, how good that would be. In the second grade of elementary school, as my mom got promoted at work, our family moved from a small county town to a big city. But the students in the big city seemed superior, and they all laughed at me for being a country bumpkin. They tirelessly broke my pink Barbie pencil case and, taking advantage of their height, messed up my hair. Every night, the water I used to wash my hair turned green. They also liked to throw my homework into the trash can and imitate my Mandarin with a local accent. Only Ethan, who lived across the door, was willing to play with me. Even if it was 1 against 3, with his face bruised, he still wanted to teach the boys who bullied me a lesson. You moved in across from me, your mom and my dad are colleagues, and we're in the same class, how can there be such a coincidence? It's destined that I'm meant to protect you. He reached out his hand to me, smiling warmly. From then on, no classmate dared to bully me again. As time passed little by little, I grew up, my height shot up, I could speak standard and fluent Mandarin, and my personality was gentle but not weak. No one bullied me anymore. But unexpectedly, Ethan, who used to protect me, became the one who hurt me. The Ethan in my memory overlapped with the one before me, and my eyes became a bit blurry. Ethan, everything that needs to be said has been said. Let's end our journey together here. If we entangle any further, it won't look good. I hope we can have a graceful ending. Perhaps this way, my younger self will feel better. Ethan's tears burst forth again. He cried out loud and even knelt down in front of me. Hannah, don't go, I really can't live without you. I glanced at the shop assistant behind me, feeling a bit embarrassed. Don't be like this, do you have to end it so ungracefully? He raised his arm to wipe his tears, his eyes red as he asked me, Hannah, do you hate me that much? Are you determined to separate? I nodded, yes. Also, it's not separating, we were never together. Ethan lowered his head in silence for a long while, gradually stopping his sobs. When he looked up again, he said, Hannah, this is your choice, and I respect it. I won't make a scene anymore, and I won't make the mistake of disrespecting you again. Let's say goodbye properly. One last request, can I have a hug? My heart softened, and I agreed. In the final hug, Ethan held me very tightly, as if he wanted to merge me into his body. He said in my ear, Hannah, thank you, I'm sorry. Take care of yourself. After the college entrance examination scores came out, my actual score was more than 10 points higher than my estimate. That is to say, I scored nearly a full 50 points more than usual, completely at a supernormal performance level. Schools that I didn't dare to think about before now became choices within my reach. At this moment, I was immensely grateful to myself from that noon, for not becoming emotional because of Ethan's words, but instead stopping losses in time and preparing for the last exam in the best state, not dropping the ball at the critical moment. If I had collapsed in the last subject, even if I had performed exceptionally well in the previous subjects, it would have been useless. My parents and I hugged each other, crying with joy. Beside us, my grandparents also quietly wiped tears from the corners of their eyes. 3 days later, my mom received a call from Ethan's dad. I asked my mom to keep my score confidential. Even though Michael asked about it warmly, he couldn't find out my score. Finally, he said what he most wanted to say, I heard from Ethan that Hannah didn't do well this time either. We're planning to send Ethan to repeat the year. Does your child want to join? These two kids have been together since childhood, and repeating the year could be a good companionship. My mom firmly declined, our Hannah score doesn't warrant repeating the year. If your child needs to repeat, you should hurry to find a school, I heard many schools are not accepting now. Michael said awkwardly, Ethan's college entrance examination this time was really strange, he scored a full 50-something points less than usual. We even checked the score, and they said there was no problem, he just did poorly. Ethan said he answered a few big questions in the liberal arts comprehensive test off topic, and he estimated he only lost half the points. But I guess he actually didn't get many points. I couldn't help but sigh. The questions Ethan answered off topic, I noticed when they were checking answers at noon before the politics exam. Clearly, I had written them clearly in the keynotes I made for him, so how could he analyze them to such an irrelevant angle? But at the time, I doubted myself, thinking I had done them wrong, even thinking I was wrong from the time I made the notes. Now that I think about it, my notes were correct, but he didn't even look at them and directly gave them to Jasmine. There's a sense of fate playing tricks. Fate can bring us together and also make us drift further apart. On the day of the college entrance examination application deadline, the homeroom teacher specially sent a message in the group to remind, "Life is long, don't compromise or change your college entrance examination application for someone." It may seem romantic now, but looking back years later, only your own efforts won't betray you. No one is worth betting your future on. I looked at the already filled-in application for Peking University on the screen and smiled. The future is bright, and I won't stop moving forward for a fickle heart. The next day, I received a text message from an unknown number. "Hannah, I'm about to go repeat the year. The school is in the county town, so you can go back to your own home. Because you didn't want to see me, you've been staying at your grandparents' house for so many days recently. I've really caused you a lot of trouble. In the coming year, we probably won't see each other. I will work hard to come to Xiamen to find you and also work hard to make you like me again." He won't find me in Xiamen. He's really confident, thinking I would still go to the city we agreed on. But I didn't reply at all. Let the past be the past. However, Jasmine's desire for revenge is stronger than mine. She posted a new update on Instagram. "What does it feel like when a crush turns into trash?" She took parts of the video I sent her and exposed Ethan's scumbag deeds and their brother's scumbag quotes in text form. Each of their full names appeared in her post, turning it into a scumbag avoidance blacklist. It quickly gained a lot of attention, with 1,000 likes in a week. I heard that after many people at the school where Ethan was repeating learned about this, they began to ostracize him. Even at Michael's workplace, many young people saw this post. Later, the Chin family gave Jasmine a large sum of money to make her delete it. She also transferred 1,000 to me. "Thank you. In the future, let's both keep our eyes open and not look for boyfriends in the trash can." I didn't accept Jasmine's money, but I took her advice. Life at Peking University was fulfilling and busy, but also happy. I won scholarships, earned competition awards, and met a boy who made my heart flutter. Occasionally, I would hear about Ethan's affairs from my parents. On my birthday, he secretly ran away from the repeating school and came back home. He reeked of alcohol, carrying a large strawberry cream cake, guarding my door, shouting that he wanted to celebrate my birthday. My parents said I was at school and not home. Perhaps because he drank too much, Ethan didn't believe it. He insisted on coming to my house to personally accompany me for my birthday. So at 2 or 3 in the morning, he tried to climb from his balcony to mine but slipped and fell. Fortunately, it was the second floor, so there was no life-threatening danger, just a fractured calf. When he sobered up, I wasn't there, and his leg was lame. But Ethan's 4th year of high school had to continue. My life was also moving forward. My mom's job had another promotion opportunity, allowing her to come to the Beijing headquarters, and she accepted without hesitation. When moving, she also reminded Michael to keep a close eye on Ethan, in case he does something stupid like climbing into the neighbor's house again. The new neighbors might call the police. In the summer at the end of the first semester of my freshman year, I saw Ethan again on the Peking University campus. He was wearing the white t-shirt from the day we parted. When he saw me, his dim eyes instantly lit up, and he limped towards me. "Hannah, long time no see. Forgive me for asking the school teachers about your major so I could run into you. Congratulations on getting into such a good school." I politely said, "Thank you." Tears welled up in Ethan's eyes. Although he was smiling, his voice carried a sob. "It's so good to see you again and hear your voice. This year of repeating was very hard, and I was able to persevere thanks to this t-shirt." He tugged at the hem of his shirt. "When I see it, I always imagine that you are still willing to hug me, and that we still have a future." A clear and cold but powerful voice came from behind. "This classmate, even with a lame leg, you still come all the way to our school to poach my girlfriend. Isn't that a bit indecent?" Noah came from behind and held me tightly in his arms. He was the boy who made my heart flutter, and now he was also my boyfriend. Ethan looked at him, his pupils trembling, and then looked at me with a pleading gaze. Hannah, you're in a relationship? I smiled calmly. Yes, this is my first love, Noah. After all, Ethan and I were never officially together. Noah is, of course, my first love. But Ethan seemed to have received a huge blow. His face became extremely ugly, and he couldn't even force a decent smile. He moved his lips and finally only murmured, "It's good to see you're doing well." I knew that perhaps this time was the real farewell. I waved to Ethan. We have urgent matters, so we'll leave first. If there's nothing else, you should go home early too. Your leg hasn't healed yet, and being alone in Beijing, Michael and the others will worry. Ethan, you should also start a new life soon. Bye-bye. Ethan smiled bitterly, waved his hand, and turned to leave. His leg wasn't healed, so he walked very slowly and only went far after a while. When Ethan's figure completely disappeared into the crowd, Noah spoke. Hannah, it feels like not only is his leg bad, but his brain isn't very good either. He can actually fantasize about this and that with you just by looking at a t-shirt. It pisses me off. I touched his hair. Don't be angry, don't be angry. His brain really isn't very good, don't stoop to his level. Let's go, do the important thing, submit the form. Noah touched my registration photo on the exchange application form, his tone smug. Having a girlfriend who's too excellent is also a kind of trouble. I have to continue to strengthen my muscle management. Whoever dares to covet you, I'll scare them away directly. After saying that, he deliberately flexed his arm, bulging his biceps. I took his arm, amused by him. The future is good, and I will continue to move forward, embracing infinite possibilities.